Okay, so we're now on page 3. Step 1, you need to isolate, pen doesn't work. Isolate the square root or cube root. So get that by itself. So I'm going to do number 1. I'm going to add 3 on both sides, and that leaves me with the square root of x plus 7. These cancel, equals 0 plus 3, which is 3. The next step is to square or cube both sides. So because we're doing a square root, we're going to square both sides. When I do that, I am left with, when you have a radical and you're supposed to square it, it's just x plus 7. 3 squared would be 9. The last step is to solve for x. So on this one, I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides, and I get x equals 9 minus 7, which is 2. Now, one thing you're going to have to do is you must check answers for extraneous solutions. The only ones you have to check are the ones where this index right here is even. So if it's a cube root, you don't have to check. If it's anything else, so because ours was a 2 that was right there, we have to check this. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. So I have a square root. X is really a 2. And then plus 7 minus 3 should be 0. So if I work inside that radical, 2 plus 7 is 9. I'm going to bring everything else down. The square root of 9 is a 3. Bring everything else down. 3 minus 3 is 0, and 0 does equal 0, so it does check. Okay, so let's do the next one, number 2. So the first thing you're going to need to do is subtract 7 on both sides. Now you're left with the cube root of x plus 2, these cancel, equals 5 minus 7, which is a negative 2. Because it is a cube root, we have to cube both sides. When I cube a cube root, you're left with the x plus 2 equals, this means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is a negative 8. The last thing you have to do is subtract 2 on both sides, and you get x equals negative 8 plus a negative 2 is a negative 10. Now, this one we don't have to check, okay? Because it has a 3 right there, we know that our domain and range are all real numbers. Okay, oop, I flipped out the R. So you do not have to check. Okay, let's do number 3. Okay, I'm going to do kind of 2 things at the same time. I am going to add 2 on both sides, and then I'm going to rewrite that first part the way we learned. So in other words, I need a square root. The x plus 5 goes here. Technically, that 1 goes here and that 2 goes there. But technically, you don't need them because you know there's a 1 there and we know there's a 2 there. Okay, so I'm going to keep writing this. Those canceled. Equals 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, so to get rid of a square root, we need to square both sides. So I'm left with x plus 5 equals 3 squared is 9. Now I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, and I get x is 4. Because there's a 2 right there, we have to check this one. Okay, so I'm going to check it right here. So here we go. Parenthesis, my x is actually a 4. Then I have a plus 5 to the 1/2 power minus 2 should be 1. Okay, start inside that parenthesis. So 4 plus 5 is 9. Then you have it to the 1/2 power minus 2 equals 1. If you forget how that is really the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is actually a 3. 3 minus 2 is 1, does equal 1. It does check. This one works. Okay? So, let's do the next one. We are going to add 1 first, and then I'm going to rewrite it. Okay? So, I have the square root of x plus 6. You can have your 1 there and your 2 there, but you don't need it. Equals negative 3 plus 1 is a negative 2. Well, first off, if you ever put a square root, let's say you put the negative 4, square root of negative 4 in your calculator, it is going to give you an error. So you cannot have the square root, cannot be negative. So I can technically stop right here because there is no way I can find any number to put in there that will give me a negative square root. So I can stop right there and say that's a no solution. Now, if you ever get a cube root is negative, you can have those. It's just the square roots. So don't forget for your homework, your day 4 homework, you're going to do all. And hopefully that helped.